Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
And we've got a special guest. Now, he's not going to talk like us. I know he looks weird, kind of like a leprechaun. But we've got Mr. Randy Ireland from Ireland Outdoor Productions and Obsession TV with us today. Tell him, hey, Randy.
Boom, son. I'm
now,
Randy Ireland.
We're going to go into all kind of details about Randy.
Oh, God.
From his childhood as a young leprechaun. No, I'm kidding. Randy is from Maine and ended up in South Carolina. And a good friend of ours introduced us, a couple of years ago, year or two ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Randy does these cool hunting videos. We'll definitely link him in the description to his Facebook page and YouTube and all that stuff. But so Randy, he's got all kind of sponsors and all this cool stuff. And this year he got a cool Obsession bow that's on 80 pounds. And he's ready to straight drill some deer.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you've got? Which bow?
I got the Lawless.
The Lawless. That's right.
Yep.
And it is a smoking bow. Built him some almost 500 grain arrows, right on 80 pounds, 28.5-inch draw, shooting
303.
303. Not
Yep.
bad. Not bad. Tell us about everything.
Yeah.
Tell us about Obsession TV.
Well, it was back 2017. I got the notion. Well, I'd been filming for a few years before that, but
Are we talking home movies or?
we won't go there. But anyways, yeah, I started filming before 2017 just for fun. You know, I had a bunch of videos saved on my computer and stuff like that. But in 2017, you know, I kind of discussed with my brother-in-law. I said, you know, maybe we should create something. You know, create a show.
Oh yeah.
And we had another guy, Travis Everett. My brother-in-law is Jake McKennell. And we started throwing some names around, and next thing I know, we were going to be like the Bearded Brotherhood or something like that. Because we all had beards at the time. And I'm thinking, well, you know, sometimes I shave my face. But anyways, and somehow Obsession TV came about, and I got messing around on the computer and made a logo, and it stuck, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a fun ride. I mean, to begin with, we didn't have much for sponsor-wise. You know, we had a friend, Chris Cobbett. He was working for Archeryshack Hunting at the time.
Gotcha.
They were our first official sponsor, you know,
Yeah.
Dead Downwind and stuff like that. And then it weren't long after that, my brother-in-law scored Faradine Outdoors. And so that opened up a whole bunch of other brands to us.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and then I got to looking for tree stand companies and stuff like that, and it's just all kind of fell into place. And then meeting you guys, I mean, that, you know, for me being down here not knowing anybody, it's helped me out a lot. And you guys know your stuff when it comes to tuning a bow, so I appreciate that
when
a lot.
you follow Randy on Facebook, he's a great promoter. He's all the time got pictures and videos and all this stuff, and that's what like kind of caught our eye. We're like, this dude's actually. We've had other people in the past, you know, that we've befriended, but they don't do shit. And, I was like, this guy's actually on there every day, hustling it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure some people probably get sick of seeing everything, but hey, you know, that's you know, that's my job. I think that's my side job.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
you know, besides working for a living, I'm kind of a media junkie. You know,
So you've been in South Carolina 3 or 4 years.
Well, I moved down the beginning of 2015, 2016, something
Okay.
like that. Then we moved home, and we didn't like the winter, so we're like, you know what? It's time to permanently make a change and move back. And we've been back down here since March 2019. And you'll never see us move back to Maine.
What's the difference in like the deer here versus the deer in Maine, like size wise and just like, you know, are they more spooky here or there or just in general?
My honest opinion, like as a bow hunter, you know, rifle hunting's different. You can set up, you know, you can set corn out 150, 200 yards away.
Oh, yeah.
And they not even know you're there. But as a bow hunter, you're trying to get them in, you know, 30, 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So all their senses are on point, you know. And I think South Carolina deer are 10 times harder to hunt than a Maine deer.
Really?
To me, anyways, because I've had pretty good success in Maine.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's one of the harder states to hunt. But you know, down here, these things they have come up behind me and blown at me, and it's like, really? You know, I've tried to do everything on point, scent control. You know, wash my clothes, I wash my hair, wash everything. You know, and oh yeah, them big ones, they just know, they just come in. Or they show up when you're not there, you know.
What well, I know this is on everybody's mind, so we need to address this immediately.
Okay.
We're going to need you to say the word lobster.
Lobster.
That's great. Okay.
And beer.
Yeah. As he's been in the shop, I'm like, man, this is a cool accent.
Yeah.
We need him as like our spokesperson because people will be like, where's this guy from? How long does it take to get there? I mean, do you fly up there? Do you drive up there?
I've drove it twice. Twice, I think. With a U-Haul and with kids, it's like 23, 24 hours. So, no, I'd rather fly. I mean, I bought a ticket. I'm going up November 3rd through the 10th. I bought a round trip ticket for $175, and
No
I'll
joke.
be there in 4 hours.
Wow.
So, you know, that's much better.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. What do you think? What's the coolest like thing you've killed on camera so far? You think, or the best? Your favorite video that you've done?
Favorite video? Probably my favorite video would be the big 8-point that I took back in 2017. You know, I found that hunted this spot. I really didn't hunt a lot. I mean, I hunted it like 2.5 weeks and shot 3 deer out of the same tree. You know, so it was pretty much. I just found the right tree, you know, and put some time in it, and you know, it was at a time where I think it was November 12th, November 11th, or something like that. The Maine deer were starting, you know, the pre-rut, and they were responding to rattling and
Gotcha.
grunting. And I knew there was some big bucks in the area because I found a bunch of rubs and stuff like that. So I just it was just a crapshoot that he showed up at 3:30 in the afternoon
Gotcha.
and come out and give me a 35-yard shot. You know,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Tell us about a lot of people send us questions, and they're like, you know, what bow setups do we have? And I feel like we've talked about our bow setups a million times, but tell them kind of what your setup is, and you know, that another question we get a lot is like, how far
is your max distance
that
you
sort of
shoot
thing.
at, or
Like we get that question all the time.
I would think probably max distance in the field, like in a hunting situation, that I feel comfortable shooting would probably be like 60 yards.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, practicing, I'll shoot longer distances, but, you know, a lot of times when you get in the heat of the moment, there's so many variables that can happen, you know.
I agree.
And, and me, I still get super pumped, excited. You know, my heart's blowing out of my chest. You know, it could be a doe, and I'm like, you know. So you gotta, you know, calculate all them variables in, and then what you're shooting. Like, you know, if you're shooting something with a 7-inch brace height, you know, lower poundage, it's gonna be a lot more forgiving. But if you're shooting what I'm shooting, 80 pounds with a 5-inch brace height, you got to concentrate. You got to make sure that your pin is where you want it when you pull the trigger. So in a hunting scenario, I'm probably going to try to stay under 40 yards with that, especially hunting Maine. A lot of the places where we hunt, your furthest shot you're going to have is 35, 40 yards. So
what do you think about, we get this all the time, single pin versus multi-pin?
Like I have an older bow that's got multi-pins on it, and it seems to work fine. But as the older I get, my eyes, you know, ain't working as well as they used to. So I think a single pin, the thing I don't like about a single pin is if you have one pin, not like a hybrid sight where, you know, if you have one pin and that's set on 20, sometimes you don't have the time to dial that to the yardage. You know, that's like, I got the Trophy Ridge Trio, the hybrid sight. So I still have my 20, 30, 40, but I can dial out if I want to, which is good for me because I like to have those pins and not have to mess around.
I agree. That's what I love about we talked about it earlier, the Spot Hog stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got the double pin, so you at least got that backup bottom pin. You know, but I don't know. What about broadheads? What are you shooting?
Oh, for the past, probably 9-10 years, I've been shooting nothing but Rage broadheads. You know,
We get a lot of people come in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of broadheads that people come in and ask for, but that's one of the top. You know, I mean, it's just they do good marketing. They work well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a popular broadhead, has been for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we're sponsored by them, so I mean that helps too.
Oh yeah.
But we're also sponsored. The same company owns Muzzy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try out the new Muzzy shanks.
Yep, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Muzzy, like 20 plus years ago, I shot Muzzy and I loved them. You know, and they still make a good product now that they've been bought out and all. But it's still the same concept. You know what I mean? But it's good stuff. Somebody sent us a question in general and said he is upgrading his release. Would we recommend a wrist strap or a handheld release, and possibly which one for around $100?
Actually, I mean, you get in so many brands. I mean, True Ball has a ton of them. I know that I like a hook style release, and I shoot a wrist strap, kind of like a True Ball Fang or a B3 Hawk or Claw. I'm running the B3 Hawk right now, and I've got a Claw that I'm playing with. I seem to like the Hawk a little bit better. You know, I would say go to your local shop and just see what all they have. And you know, most of them have what they call a little dry fire training aid. And just see if they'll let you take them out of the pack and just test them, you know, and see what fits you. If you want to go handheld, you know, go that route. The True Ball makes the Fang in a handheld. They make it in a 3-finger, 4-finger. And I think those are right around $100, maybe just a little over.
Like, that's a good one. True Fire makes a couple.
Yeah.
Fletcher makes a couple. As far as a handheld goes, but I'm with you. If possible, go try them out. Because, I mean, just looking at them, you might love it in the book and hate it when you get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna upgrade to the True Fire Hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah. This coming next season.
I'm a wrist strap guy.
Me too.
I'll
Me
go to
too.
a handheld every now and then just because I'll get the urge to do it. But for what, I don't know. I'm just used to a wrist strap. You know what I mean?
I had a handheld. I used it one season. And I don't know how many times I went to draw that sucker back, and my thumb touched that thing, and I launched arrows right out through the pine trees that I never saw again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went back to a wrist strap.
Yep. It's something else. But yeah, I would say definitely if you can, you know, if you're used to a wrist strap, it's hard to. And that was my thing. Like I probably shot a wrist strap for, I don't know, 10 years before I ever thought about trying a handheld. And I know I would probably need to stick with it for like a year before I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with it. I mean, it's not that I'm not comfortable. It's just different, you know.
It is.
And you get, like, we shoot a lot of 3D tournaments. You get out there and your hands real sweaty and it's slipping around. And I'm like, I'm going to let this thing go. And just stuff like that freaks me out. So, I don't know. But
and, you know, now they make the wrist straps where you can buy a wrist strap that goes on. I know True Ball makes them. Fletcher makes them. All your higher end release companies will, but if you want to stay around $100, you know, look into the B3s.
Yeah, B3s are good. And we didn't really mention wrist straps, but really any wrist strap for 80 to 100 is a pretty good one, you know what I mean? So, you know, like the $20 ones are kind of iffy, but you get up $60, $80, $100.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good brands.
That's like with anything, you get what you pay for.
Most
of the time.
Actually, let's talk about, we talked about it on the live feed Thursday. The ATA show has been canceled this year for 2021. That's the big show every year where they unveil stuff, and we get to go up to Indianapolis and handle it all and put our orders in and that sort of thing. So they said a lot of the big manufacturers backed out because of COVID, so they canceled it. So that's like the first time since it started that it's canceled. So that's different for us, at least.
Yeah.
Most archery shops go there, you know, and get to see the products and go ahead and put in the orders and get a small deal for ordering it early in the year. So I don't know how that'll work this year. I'm sure they'll do something online, but we'll see. Somebody sent in a question. I think his name was Doug. Will we see a 380 feet per second bow in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, if you go back and look at our podcast from right before about this time last year, November, December, everybody started asking about this time, what's everybody coming out with or anything like that. And I said that I looked for somebody to come out with a 400 feet per second bow. I really did. I thought that, at least 380, 390 right at 400, but they kind of did the opposite this year. If I had to imagine a bow company that's going to do it, PSC, Obsession would probably be my two big companies that would do it.
They're the two. Like, a lot of companies have backed off of the speed and said, well, we're going to give it a better valley or it's going to be smoother or whatever, but I still feel like Obsession and PSC is still like, we still want to keep going with this speed thing. I'm surprised one of them hadn't just said, screw it, we're going to put like a 4-inch brace height on this thing. It may not be the greatest of shooters, but it will go 400 feet per second.
Yeah.
And they may not sell but a few of them, but they got it. That'd be a lot of magazine marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the Lawless, it IBO'd at 370.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, Obsession's right there at it.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured that somebody would have been close to 400 this past year when they released, but they didn't. But Obsession and PSC, I think he'll do it.
This is off subject, but Randy has a catchphrase. Boom, son. Where'd that come from?
I think it kind of, I used to be a huge, well, I still am, and a lot of people probably don't like me for it, but I'm still a huge Chris Brackett fan. You could tell. I mean, I got his show tattooed on my forearm. So, and his saying was always booyah.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of stemmed around that. I wanted something like,
Yeah.
but not the same as what he had.
Gotcha.
So, boom, son.
What is this? I'm his friend. I know on Twitter, and I think he's doing food plots now, but I don't know what his status is.
I'm not sure what he's doing with, like, hunting-wise, but I know he's doing some huge, like, land management stuff.
Gotcha.
Food plots, setting up properties.
Well, we met him a few times.
Yeah.
He was super nice to us.
Yeah.
But I know when a couple years ago, all kind of stuff. What was it? He shot 2 bucks and tried to hide.
Yeah.
And anyway, big mess. But that was 2-3 years ago now.
Well, and then he made the comment about shooting ASA.
Well, he tried to shoot ASA.
Yeah.
Oh, he did shoot ASA in the pro class, and that didn't go so well.
Yeah.
And he had the film crew follow him.
Yeah.
But that was the year all this went down, so I don't guess it ever got released.
Yeah.
That would have probably been some funny, good videos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping a couple of years would pass, and then he would climb back out of it. And I don't know, maybe he don't want to be back on TV. I don't know. But
I've talked to him in Messenger and stuff like that. And I've talked with Chip Spalding in Messenger. If I run into any editing issues, I always shoot him, Chip a message or something like that. But I don't think the last time I talked to Chris, he didn't really have any interest in getting back in the limelight
I kind of figured that was the case because he was front and center, and he may be happy doing what he's doing, Yeah. So.
Well, here's a question that we've gotten before, but we know a couple people that do film hunts and everything, but they said that they just got so tired of trying to get everything to kill shot on video. They just trying to get everything perfect.
Yep.
That they just totally lost interest in hunting whatsoever.
Well, like back in the day, I was filming my hunts. I'm talking about back in like the small video camera had the small little tape that went in it, and it was a pain in the butt because well, my story is that when I quit doing it was like when it would get to the end or whatever, it would stop and then like rewind, and I'm filming this doe thinking I'm gonna blast this doe, and that thing goes and the doe looks up, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with filming this crap. But anyway, I could see that because like like stage one would be I'm gonna film myself hunting and shooting a deer, but then it's like, okay, I want to make this look professional, and then it could be a huge pain in the butt, especially doing it by yourself half the time. You know what I mean? I could see where I'd be like pulling my hair out.
I don't think people realize
Oh yeah,
what goes into it, because I usually have one camera on an arm, and then I'll have another camera facing me. Then I'll have 2 cameras on my bow, and it ain't just filming and shooting. You don't realize how many times that you may not even push record because you're in the heat of the moment, or I have let shooting opportunities pass trying to get the camera on and then not have a shooting opportunity.
I was gonna say, what the most screwed up thing would be, like, huge deer walks out, but he's like maybe moving a little bit, and you're like, do I worry about this camera or do I just shoot the deer? I don't know.
There's been a couple times where I just said, you know what, send it.
Yeah.
And, it's because come to the end of the day, I like hunting. And, I mean, yes, I like making videos, but I'm going to send one downrange if I can.
What I want to try, and this is going to be a huge pain in the butt, I've got like 6 or 7 GoPros, and I got the remote that can control them and all that. Turn all the beeping and stuff off and stake those things in a big fan pattern and hope the deer comes out near one of them and fire it up, and then have other cameras. But I know that's going to be a big production, but it would be neat if I could get everything to align right, See,
that's what I plan on next season. I'm going to be set up with the Tacticam 5.0s. Have one on my bow, one on the ground, and then have a 5.0 wide in the tree watching me with the remote. So all I got to do is push one button. Boom. They all come on.
I feel like that'd be the trick. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to jump around.
Because right now I'm like, click, 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 click. And by that time, the deer's like, they either knows something's up or they're gone.
I was going to say, with the advancement of, filming stuff, cameras, like you got Tacticams, you can put in your stabilizer, you got all these brackets and mounts you can put. So, but I just wonder if you, do you get burned out from doing it?
Oh, I'm sure.
Believe me, you get burned out.
I hadn't thought about using like a 360 camera. That would actually be, I hadn't even thought of this, because you could mount it wherever, and in the post-production process, you can look and make it either, look wherever you want to. That might be something to think about.
Yep.
Hang on a second. Keith asked, I done lost my question here. What is your guys' pump-up music, either going to a 3D shoot or to the stand? I don't think we really, as far as me.
I don't even think we turn the radio on going to a shoot. I mean, but now if it's just me and my truck, I have some weird taste in music. But it's probably like the Lax or somebody like that. Just everybody's going to say, who's the Lax? Just look them up on YouTube. But that's kind of my pump ups. And, it changes. I mean, a little bit of Metallica or some Linkin Park or something like that, that's probably my pump up music. But half the time I'm probably listening to sports talk radio going over the road. But
yeah, I listen to everything, but yeah, if I'm trying to get like wound up, it'll be some kind of rock,
I usually in silence. Like, okay. What am I going to screw up today?
Somebody asked, do we prefer a cable slide or a cable roller system such as PSE? And that's a hard one, because I would say slide because there's less room for stuff to go wrong. But like the PSE roller system, at least it's less friction.
Yeah.
But I've seen different ones come apart, so I don't know.
I guess if I'm going to run a slide, I'm going to run a hyperglide.
That's what I always try to go to.
Yeah.
For some reason, I like that one. My PSE Evolve, it had the roller slide on it, which I like that. But, if I'm going back to a cable slide, I'm probably going to run a hyperglide. I just kind of like that one.
Agree. George asked, for hunting, what's our preferred let off and valley feel on a bow. Like for me, if I understand what he's asking, for a hunting bow, I like it to like dump over like boom and have
Yeah.
a good bit of let off.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm sitting there for a minute, I'm not like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then for like a tournament bow, it's almost the opposite because with a lot of let off, there's a lot of torquey stuff you can do with your hand. But yeah, I like the dump and the lot of let off.
Mm-hmm. I think most everybody's running 80% plus now
Yeah.
on the hunting rig.
Agreed. What tree stand do you use, Randy? Or have you got into the saddle stuff? The
No,
tree saddles?
I will never get into the saddle
Okay.
stuff.
Lots of people. We had some guys come to a demo one evening, and like people were always asking about it. We hadn't bought one.
No.
I'd like one to play with, but not necessarily taking the woods yet. But I don't know.
I just can't see myself hanging off a tree with a little tiny platform like this with your feet on it and having limited, mobility. I mean, God. I got a buddy who is diehard saddle hunter.
Yeah.
Corey Courier up in Maine. And he'll go and sit in a saddle for 12 hours. I mean, how does your legs? I mean,
no, when they came out here, it looked way more comfortable than I thought. Like,
Yeah.
I could see where it would be okay, but I don't know. Like, I'm scared I'd forget to do one thing and I'd be on the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I forgot to clip in.
I'm thinking, it's got my interest, Pete, and I think I said this on the live feed, but that JX3 hybrid saddle, I think if I was going that route, I think that's the way I'm going to go. I just
Yeah.
don't like the price on it, but
Yeah.
it's a local company to us, so
But yeah, we hadn't dove into the saddles yet.
not yet.
I always usually use hang-ons if I can.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like in Maine, expanded archery, I'll use a climber.
Yeah.
And the only climber I use is Summit.
Yep. I like Summit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know about the saddles. So you've hooked up with Obsession Bows. I think that's cool because you're Obsession TV, Obsession Bows.
Yeah, it kind of goes good together.
And Dennis Lewis is a cool cat down in Georgia. And we've dealt with Obsession. And TJ shot Obsession for a couple of years. And overall, I mean, it's good people. I like them because they're like 2 hours away and all that sort of thing. And so they were with Arcus. Now Martin Archery and Obsession have came together. So we're kind of waiting to see. I hope they have a big year. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they come out with something super cool. And
Me too.
Yeah.
that'll be good. But
Yeah, Dennis is a pretty cool cat. I know he's got a lot on his plate right now.
Yeah. I was worried, because when rumors started flying about Arcus pulling out and all that, I'm like, oh Lord, because a couple companies this year went out of business or last year, or whatever, and I was like, not them. And then they were announced they had teamed up with Martin, and I was like, okay, they're good. And Dennis, when I've met Dennis and we've sat down with him before,
Oh, yeah.
real nice guy, like super down to earth guy. So I'm glad they're.
Have you ever met Chris Sadler?
The name sounds familiar.
He's like a pro shooter for Martin.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't met him yet, but we're pretty good friends. Other than that, talking on the phone and stuff like that.
Where does he live at?
I think he lives in Alabama or something like that.
The name sounds super familiar. So
I think we've run into him at a show.
or a shoot or something.
He's like Tombo's right-hand man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you mainly hunt? Like public land or private land or a little bit of everything?
I try, like down here, I try to hunt private land, because I'm just not into seeing 100 million people.
Yeah.
And, club-wise, I just don't have the money to hunt a club, and I don't like the fact of going in and being like, here's a pin, I'm here, Yeah, I pretty much want, like, full reign of a property if I'm going to hunt it, But, like, Maine, see, the laws are different up there. If it's not posted, you can legally hunt it, no matter if it's private land.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres that's open for hunting where we bow hunt. It's all private land, but it's not posted. So,
that's crazy.
and I've called the game wardens because I want to, with the show and everything, I want to be 100% legal. And they're like, no, if it ain't legally posted, you're ready to ride. yeah, that's the last thing I need. That'd be great
Come out
for
in
reviews.
handcuffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would explode.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. I mean, if you're a property owner up there and you don't put a posted sign up or anything like that, and you don't want really nobody hunting, but you don't follow the rule on your end, and then you got some people hunting it.
That's funny.
What do? I could see that getting into a fist fight real quick.
Oh, I'm sure it can be. I mean, but even like the game warden said, he said if you see 2 posted signs on a gate, he said that don't cut it. It has to be legally posted around the whole perimeter.
Wow.
Like every 25 or 50 feet, there has to be a sign.
Could you imagine that here?
Oh my God, Lord have mercy!
People would be getting shot
There'd
every
be people
day.
shot down here.
Yeah, it'd be. Whew.
Yeah.
Gary asked, "What is our favorite lighted knock and what color?" We've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's a hard one to go back to. I like the Glory Nocks because they're so easy to turn off, but probably Nocturnals. I'm waiting for them to get some green and blue strobing ones back in stock because I really want to shoot them. But probably a Nocturnal. I know they're a little bit aggravating to turn off, but I've had better luck with Nocturnals than I have
I agree.
out of all of them.
Yeah, that's all we've ever shot for lighted nocks, nocturnals.
To me, the nocturnals are definitely the brightest.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get past, I mean, you just, everybody's got a knife in their pocket, or almost everybody. You got to, they turn on, you got to put something in there and move the contacts away or whatever. And people originally hated that, but I think so many people's done it for so long, it's not a big deal.
No.
When those Glory Knots came out, you just click it on, push a button, pull it off, and it's off. But then, and I know it was their first year, but we got a couple dud packs in that didn't work and all this, so we were just kind of like, so.
But I mean, we've sold plenty of them this year, and,
They've been fine the past year.
and we hadn't had any problems out of them.
But Glory Knock Nocturnal, and then he said, "What color do we prefer?" I like the green ones.
I like green too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, somebody bought some pink ones we had, and they look. I mean, I could see where that would be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's going to stick out big time.
That's why I want them strobing ones. I seen somebody
Yeah.
had the red and green one, and they had seen. I'm not a real big red fan, but I seen the blue green. I'm like, I definitely want to try those.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I can just see something red or blue and green in the daggum wood strobing.
I think I had red ones last year when I was in Maine, and when I hunted, there was snow on the ground,
That'd be cool,
and that thing stuck right out.
man.
I mean, and then the blood trail. I mean, it was like, a
That
blind
would
fella
be
could have tracked it.
like I've hunted in the snow a couple times down here, but we're talking about just like a dusting. Yeah, I couldn't imagine what goes on up there. Like, man, I bet it's like feet of snow.
Oof.
When's the season up there? Like when to when?
Like expanded archery. That is the expanded archery is within city limits.
Okay,
These are like nuisance zones.
gotcha.
So that goes from I think that started maybe September 8th,
Okay,
maybe to December 8th.
okay.
So that lasts 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then regular archery opens the beginning of October. So that opens up the whole state.
Gotcha.
And then the beginning of November starts rifle season to the end of November. And then there's 2 weeks in December that's muzzleloader.
I wish, and I know people hate me for saying this, but I wish South Carolina had a shorter rifle season. And it's so weird here, because like lower part of the state, August 15th, you can go shoot with whatever.
Yeah.
Up here is a little different, but I don't know. It's just,
I wish they would. Because it sounded like World War III this morning.
I know. It did. It did. People's blowing deer up left and right.
I almost kind of wish that they would. Well, number one, I wish they would make the whole state one set of rules and regulations.
I agree. Yeah.
From game zone 1 to however many game zones we have now. I think it's 4. I could be wrong, maybe
Can't
5.
remember.
But just put one set of rules and regulations out there, and I would almost like to see them back it up. Maybe bow season not opening up to October 1st.
Yep.
Then your muzzleloader comes in October the 10th, and then 2 weeks after that or a week after that, rifle season opens up, which puts you into about this time frame.
Well, who was it? KJ? Somebody told us their state literally only has like a 1 week rifle season. Somebody, I don't know who I was talking to, but
I know Illinois and some places like that, they have that, and then some of them don't have what they call their rifle is technically a muzzleloader. They can't shoot a center fire rifle.
dang.
But I think it was KJ in Vermont said that they had like a week-long rifle season.
It was somebody I was talking to. I don't know. Do you still have a lot of family in Maine?
Yep, all my family's in Maine. I got aunts and uncles, grandparents.
Have they been here and been like, "What are you thinking?"
No,
No. Okay.
no. They said no. We'll leave him down there. We're glad he's gone.
You got any brothers or sisters?
Nope, I'm an only child.
Me
I got
too.
a half brother and a half sister.
Gotcha. Anybody else into hunting big like you, or just?
My uncle used to be real big into hunting, and I think he's starting to get back into it a little bit, but not like he was. He used to bow hunt. He used to be a big time bow hunter, and I think the biggest deer he shot was 240 pounds, field dressed. It was a 10-point, and I think it was 158 inches.
Man,
Darn.
Yeah, it had like a 24, 25-inch spread.
wow.
Yeah.
Who got you into the whole hunting scene?
I guess growing up, it would probably been like trying to follow his lead, my uncle.
I got you.
And he was always duck hunting or deer hunting or something like that. And I really didn't do a lot of hunting when I was younger. I shot my first deer in 2001, and then I really didn't get back into hunting until I got with my wife, and that was probably.
Were you hunting deer at that point, or women?
Well, when I found my wife, but anyways, yeah, I shot my first deer in 2001, and then I got with her in 2003. Then after that, I really started to get into it. So
Gotcha.
ever since then, it's like been an obsession,
Oh yeah.
Hence the name.
Does she hunt with you at all?
No, she probably would, but I've just never taken her because that's my time. I got a couple little ones that well, I say that. My oldest, she'll be 11 in November. And now she used to go hunting with me.
Yeah.
She filmed some hunts with me. But now she's all girly. And
Gotcha.
But my little one, she's 5, and she wants to kill stuff.
Really?
She says, "Daddy, you need to buy me some camo." And she says, this is what she says. When I come home at night, she's like, "Did you catch any deers?"
Oh,
We got to go catch some deers.
Catch those deers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to shoot one. She'll be wound up.
Oh yeah.
Has the oldest shot one?
No, she
No.
hasn't shot one. I tried to. I got a crossbow, and I wanted to get her to shoot it, and she's on her phone. So I just left that alone.
Here's a good one. He brought up What's the rules and regs on crossbows in Maine?
Well, originally, you could only hunt with a crossbow during firearm season.
Okay.
That was in November, because in Maine, a crossbow is considered a firearm. Unlike down here, where it's considered archery equipment.
Yeah.
But now they passed a law that if you take a crossbow course, you can hunt with a crossbow in statewide archery.
Okay.
So it's kind of opened it up a little bit. And
Gotcha.
if you're disabled, you can hunt with a crossbow
Yeah.
up there.
It was. How long have we had? Like 10 years ago, maybe more. It was like gun season only unless
Yeah.
you were disabled. And then
Yeah.
they opened it up for archery season, and everybody went crazy about crossbows. But
It's been probably 4 or 5 years since they opened it up in archery season with crossbows. But then they ran it from. I think you could actually hunt with it during like muzzleloader season,
yeah,
and then it spilled over to rifle. But probably 10 years. But before then, it was pretty much you had to have a doctor's note with you. If you were in the woods with a crossbow, you had to have that doctor's note on you, and it's pretty much said that you can't physically draw a compound bow.
I remember, 15 or how many years ago that was at Bucks and Bass. It was rare to have a crossbow come in, but it was always somebody with like a shoulder problem or older or heart problem or whatever.
I might have a shoulder problem after this lawless.
You probably are. He had it on about 75, and he come in earlier and was like, "Just go ahead and jack it up to 80." And I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Oh yeah." But you got to watch him on Facebook. This dude's lifting weights. I mean, he can do it.
Yeah.
He can handle it. But man, somebody asked, "What is our favorite stabilizer setup on our hunting bow?"
That's a hard one
Yeah.
because there's so many different options, so many good stabilizers out there right now. Whatever pretty much whatever you feel comfortable with or whatever you like in my opinion. I mean, everybody.
I like that one over there on the wall. That's the one I like.
Randy seen the Trophy Ridge system, and
Yeah.
I like, for me, if it's local to where I know I'm around here, I don't have to walk that far. I don't mind running a sidebar because it counterbalances the weight of my
Yep,
sight and my
yep.
quiver and all that stuff. But like if I were to go somewhere where I know I'm gonna walk a lot, I'd probably just take the sidebar off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Screw the extra
Yeah.
weight. That's kind of where I'm at. But as a general rule of thumb, when I'm just shooting out here, I feel like the sidebar helps me because I'm not worried about occasionally canting that bow over to the right.
Yeah.
So to me, it's worth the extra weight, at least for a shorter walk, to have it on
Yeah.
there. You know.
Yeah.
So lengthwise, like for a hunting bow, I'm like an 8 or 10 out front with a 6 or 8 on the side, and then on the side I'll put like a couple ounces. You don't want to get crazy, you know what I mean, just to counterbalance. Whereas like tournament setups, we're shooting like a 28 and then like a 14 or something.
Yeah. I think on mine back here, I think I'm running 14-10 on mine with no weight. And it's one of them, on some setups, you may not have to run no extra weight on your back bar to, help out. Like mine, I don't have to run any extra weight,
Yeah.
which is good. But, I went with that setup because we were going to the TAC this year and it got canceled. And I'm just like, well, I thought about just taking my 14 off, throwing it in the bag, and just running that 10 on the front or whatever it is. It may be an 8. But I just left 14 on there. And so far, I haven't had any issues in the tree where I'm hunting at of it being too long.
Yeah.
My air's too long, to be honest with you. But,
So I got the Tacticam mount on mine, so
Yep.
I don't even have the stabilizer on it.
Yep.
I mean, I have a limb saver stabilizer where the end screws off.
Mhm.
I was just thinking about that now. I might be able to put my Tacticam mount in the end of that,
True.
but I've never shot that way. I'd have to practice and see how it.
I just thought about this because you asked it the other week. What is your favorite like hunting app? Like,
Hunt Stand.
Yeah, Hunt Stand, on
shoot.
X.
Me and my brother-in-law and a bunch of my guys, we all use Hunt Stand.
Okay.
And it's easy because, you can share, different locations.
Yep.
Like where I'm down here, and my brother-in-law is trying to find all my waypoint. All I did was share it, and boom, he knew where all my setups were, all my stand locations, where I put cameras. So it's worked out for us.
I've got one last question from Andrew, and it is, what is our favorite fletching color?
Oh, now. We talking hunting setup?
I think he means
Okay.
hunting. Yeah.
If I'm on my hunting setup, like I said, my airs I'm running now, they were strictly going to be for something else, but I like to run an all white.
I agree. Either all white or all yellow.
Something,
But even yellow can sometimes blend in, according if like the leaves are changing. But like white's white, and if you shoot, you can tell the blood on it. Like, is it dark? Is it light? Is it whatever?
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
I like a yellow with 2 whites, preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good and bright.
Yeah,
I still like a feather.
me too.
A lot of people hate them. I know they tear up, and you got to worry about them in the rain. But man, I just like a feather.
And I'll go ahead and blame myself. And if Jeremy will say, if you shoot with TJ, that's what tears them up.
I could shoot a 3D target in the head, and TJ's going to slap right beside me and tear my feather off. And I'm like, TJ, everybody else is fine. For whatever reason, I think back in 1994 when we met, he was like, I'm going to tear this guy's arrows up. But
Oh, man.
I don't know. What's the next steps for Obsession TV? Like trying to get on like a bigger, like on TV or like on a bigger platform?
I'm working on, trying to get on, if I can, hunt staff for Obsession bows and stuff like that. And if I do, that'll open up some huge doors. That'll be other states I'll be able to hunt. Filming opportunities with some big names, and I think that would get our name out there and help out a lot. And I just got on with Nor'easter Game Calls out of Carmel, Maine. He makes some top-notch quality calls, all handmade. We also got Cook's. Well, you can see Cook's Fatal Attractions. And I've had real good results using that down here. And he sells a ton of it to people up in Maine. So,
Really?
I think there's going to be a lot of doors opening. We're working on getting apparel and, some koozies and stuff like that, stickers, just stuff to get our name out there. And, nothing we're going to really sell a lot of, but a lot of freebies, hands out, just for advertisement and stuff like that. So I think 2021 will definitely bring some more opportunities.
What big hunt, if you could go on and film, what would you like to do? Like elk or a moose or a...
My dream hunt would be to hunt red stag in New Zealand.
That'd be cool.
With a bow.
Yep.
That would be absolutely
That is
cool.
my all-time dream hunt.
Man, that would be wild. We've never hunted red stag, but they have a stag target at some of these shoots we go to.
Yeah.
And it's wild to just shoot as big as that thing
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And, that's something else. But I've wanted to go on an elk hunt for a while. Hopefully we'll make it happen sooner than later. But man.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of other opportunities to hunt Ohio, Oklahoma, Arizona. With working full time, it's you got to pick and choose what you're gonna do right now.
Yeah. No joke.
So, but as we grow and get bigger and things change, opportunities will open and hopefully I'll be able to travel a little bit more and film more and broaden our horizons a little bit. So
how can they find? I'll put it in the description, but how can they find you on social media? How they need to?
Our YouTube channel, that's Obsession TV, and you can find us on Facebook at Obsession TV. We also have a Maine channel, Maine page on Facebook that's Maine Deer Hunters, OB TV. So there's a couple different ones, but our main one is Obsession TV on both social media platforms.
Well, definitely check Randy out. I'm telling you, he puts out a lot of content. It's not one of those you find him and then you don't ever see anything. So check him out. Check out Obsession TV. Thank you for being on here, man.
Yep,
and
appreciate it.
I'm sure he'll be on again sometime soon, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be keeping up with him. And when he slays the Sad Daddy, we will share a picture of it. But
that's right.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, no problem.
Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all.
See ya. Boom, son.